Hey there guys, Eelthus here once again, not playing a druid this time. Boy, is that a surprise. Today I'm playing a specialist champion because I need to get a daily done, and as you can see I'm playing Sergeant Hammer with talents available. So let's see here. Siege mode, Regeneration Master. So let's look at who the enemy team are. We have Sylvanas, a melee, blah blah blah, Channa, melee, blah blah blah. Support, another range, and a melee, blah blah blah. So that means we wanted something to keep ourselves sort of at a distance. Distant enemies, Concussive Blast, disabling effects, stealth and extra damage, and siege mode. I like it. So that's the kind of stuff that's going to give us an opening against these melee champions. So we're stealthed while we're in here, and we get that next basic attack that deals 100% extra damage. So that'll give us all the time in the world we need to just sort of blast away. Plus, as Brightwing has pointed out, they have no assassins, just merely a whole bunch of melee bruisers, which means that ultimately we should be able to have our way with them if everything works out the way we want to. So I like to use my spider mines to sort of give vision. There we go, for reasons like that. Look at that. I feel pretty safe going tank mode right here and just firing away. Brightwing can do that to me all he wants. It's not going to matter. I'm getting some free damage here. They're not really too focused on me. And now I can start the zoning. Go back into siege mode. Just make sure that, like, whenever you can, be attacking your enemies in siege mode. Basically, that silence is all they really have that works against me. Other than that, though, I basically get free reign to hit them as much as possible. Now, admittedly, that little dragon is making things as difficult as physically possible for me. But, you know, it's going to happen every now and then. Best thing I can do right now is try and harass the enemy heroes away. The ability is so strong. So I have that one extra mine there, but I'm going to just end up dismantling it and putting it somewhere better. So there's nobody in lane here. There he goes. He just walks up, polymorphs me. He doesn't really get much done with it, but you know, every bit can count, especially when you're Glitterwing and you have all the sustain in the world to give you your carry, which admittedly only really sucks when the person you're laning with keeps disconnecting every 5 minutes. But what are you going to do about that? So what I'm aiming to do is more or less just make it as easy as possible to stay away from Brightwing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to put spider mines in there to keep them from getting too close too fast. And as you can see, I put it in my siege mode way too far out here, but it's enough distance to get some free poke on the enemies. I need to get out of here. So always make sure to get the free regen globes like that. 8 seconds left until I can hit up the fountain, and that's more or less my gamble for the time being. Oh shit, I just fucked myself. Yep. If I'd gotten out that just a second earlier, or if goodness forbid our Chen here decided to come into melee instead of going up into capture the thing, but what are you going to do? Meanwhile, Brightwing just as effective without mana as with mana. You can tell that he's really fun to play against. He's actually horrifically unfun to play against. You know, if you didn't happen to get that. Focus attack is the next best talent to get here. If we look at the other options, so we have Maelstrom Shells, which is really good. Like, say if I needed to, that might have been the better thing to pick against Brightwing in lane. But realistically, I don't have to worry about him all that much outside of lane. In team fights, I'm going to be, you know, later on I'm going to be getting the hover talent because it's just almost too strong not to get, to be able to hover around and have that kind of mobility while you're. She just got caught out of place there. That was bad news for her. So now I can just sort of go ahead and push this lane up and do everything I wanted to. And I should be just in range. There we go. Just in range of this tower thing. So now I can siege from the bush. That is exactly what I wanted. And I should be able to get this tower and the surrounding wall for free, which should be a nice bit of experience. It's hard to pass up stuff like that. No enemy opponents have popped up, and as you might have noticed, I have been forgetting to use thrusters, which, my bad. I missed that again. Fuck off, Sylvanas. So as I was mentioning before, I want to use spider mines to give me vision, and as you can see right there, I will do it. I'm not going to forget, and I use thrusters, so look who's getting better at this game. There we go. The first auto attack, 300 damage. It's, oh man, she really devoted full force into getting that tower. She basically wanted to punish me for killing one of their towers, I guess. That's all I can think of. Otherwise, it was just too greedy of a play. Just sort of pushing here with the Zero Tool. I'm pretty sure this is Zero Tool, the skin. So you know he's good. So should be another free tower. New talents again here. First aid, too good to pass up. And all that sustained. So if we look at our other options, yeah, the thrusting cooldown is really good when you're still low level and you don't really have that much going into it. That's the one I would pick. The slowing mines, I don't feel like they're reliable enough. Admittedly, a 40% slow for 2 seconds is basically forever, but it's just not the kind what you really want to base your escape on. As you can see, I'm getting kind of low here, and we don't have vision. I'm going to go ahead and toss my spider mines back in there, and I have 36 seconds. So I'm probably just going to want to farm and get out of here. You can see Sylvanas is starting to do that kind of damage that's really fun to deal with, and Glitterwing is back, so we're really starting to have all that fun that everybody. So I'm trying to let them know that they want me to come down, but man, that Sylvanas is just... she's pooping damage everywhere. So I'm waiting to get the ultimate ability. That's where you really start to shrine. So we've got some amazing hammer-on-hammer action. Boy, was that exciting. Absolutely riveting. So now I need to remember that not only do I have my Z to escape the thrusters, but I also have the heal, so... let's hope for the best there. So here we... oh shit. Oh fuck. I stood right in that. That was his ult. He got it first. And then we just sort of fed into them. Ah, dang. So they're going to end up with both shrines here in a second if we don't capture it back up top. And luckily our Glitterwings decided to make him... never mind, that was very fast. Okay. Looks like we gotta go mid. Or I've gotta go mid. I don't think we actually have anyone there to conflict it, so... That's a thing, isn't it? Coming. So you want to be as far away from your enemies as possible. So basically I just want to try and range him away from what he wants to do. Which is hurt our stuff. Now he wants to hurt our friendlies. Here we're going to use our mines just for some clearing, which is whatever use for him. Mana's not so much your main priority as a Sergeant Hammer, but it's something you need to watch out for. I do feel kind of safe being around Malfurion though, I have to say. So here we are, we're getting split up. They just have fucking 3 people down here, and we have nobody. It's Brightwing. So basically me being in a lane against Brightwing is I'm gonna take Napalm. Napalm Strike here is just too safe not to take. With relative for an ultimate ability, like have effectively no cooldown. And all the damage that comes with dealing with rooted immobile targets like this, it's super hard to pass up. You can just go in, fire it off for a second there, and back out. And here I can actually go into lockdown. Get some damage here on this guy. Chen's coming back into range. Just barely gets out. You can see my compatriot Hammer has taken the same abilities as I have. There we go, he's taken out and we get a free camp. Isn't that nice? Meanwhile, Sylvanas is just up top taking that. Isn't that fun? So they're really pushing this split strat, and all credit in the world to them. But it's one of the most annoying things in the entire world to deal with split pushing. As a longtime fan, or should I say anti-fan, of Counter Logic Gaming and League of Legends, let me tell you that split pushing is one of the worst things ever. And when you're sitting here looking at your opponent with all their towers, and you don't have anything, and your team can't even dedicate to being in one lane or another for more than a couple minutes, or seconds I should say, since it's only been 9 total minutes. So there we go. Barely made it out of there with my life. I hope she dedicated too much into that. Although I kind of have my doubts that she did. Because, you know, who wants to punish sloppy play when instead you can reward it by giving these people everything they want. So I'm going to throw this napalm here. This is really predictable that that's where they're going to go. And I should be able to set up shop. Should be able to throw the little dudes in there. Boy, really doesn't like the terrain here. I'm being stuck all over Brightwing. So I don't want to set them up. A little bit of a greedy. Dealing damage to Glitterwing is basically wasted damage because he doesn't feel pain. He doesn't have an actual soul. He's a lizard. But what are you going to do against lizard monsters other than try your best to ignore them and not lose too much sleep about it? That's all I've really got on the subject. Try not to lose too much sleep about it. Here we've got some actual trouble. Oh, for Christ's sake. Well, that was about as fun and counterplay filled as possible. I should have stopped trying to run with him. I should have let him bump me along because his opponents didn't even notice. But boy, did I look like a total jackass, and I don't feel too smart either. Admittedly, the only counterpoint there is that Brightwing is super annoying. Chen does, as a Chen player in the past, Chen does absolutely no damage outside of that ridiculous ult ability right there in terms of crowd control. And Sylvanas does more damage than a brick shithouse falling on your head. They have gotten another Dragon Knight, as we have nobody in mid lane to do anything. So I think I might just end up sitting mid lane. Lane, which seems actually rather useless outside of just getting the Dragon buff. So who am I to judge? Usually this dragon's not feeling all that tanky. That's good. Let's see what we got here. Barricade, super good. One. Don't stand in the fire. Years of World of Warcraft has taught me that, if nothing else. So now I'm going to fight off Sylvanas, a champion I have no hope whatsoever of actually fighting one-on-one outside of a misplaced hope. There we go, nailed it. I managed to even wall myself out. So you know I worked especially hard for that one. So, unfortunately, I'm not strong enough to fight Sylvanas on my lonesome. And I could probably face Chen, so if I go mid lane, but then I'm just going to be ganked by Sylvanas and Brightwing all game. Brightwing is probably the best pick you can grab into Sergeant Hammer, because you just have free reign to walk up to her and end her, which, you know, is fine when you're the enemy player, not so great when you're the Sergeant Hammer. I'm going to kill this and kill some creeps and then back out, because I'm basically wearing a big giant "I'm dumb, kill me" sign. So I'm going to walk back into this bush, which I'm going to put slow crabs in, and then I'm going to back. Unfortunately, I'm completely punished by my action of playing smart, because the enemy is not playing smart and has sent no one to fight me, and instead has chosen to set camp bot. Their Sergeant Hammer has chosen the talent to grow exponentially in range the longer you're in range mode, which, you know, like, I can't fault them for. It's probably about has just as much merit as anything else I can think of. I just think it's very slow in terms of a talent, and that just doesn't offer what you'd want out of it, which is basically more than what it gives you. So here I'm going to throw those here for vision. I guess I'm just going to try and push mid. I mean, if the if my entire team is going to sit there and try and stop their push bot, then I guess I'll just sort of push mid, do my best with that. I think I should be... Nope. That's my luck. So outside of anything else, at least it does all the damage in the world to structures. I'm going to stay not turret mode right now because it's a one-way ticket to Deathville. So far they seem to be almost ignoring me. Maybe they view my inner strength and find me to be more of a threat than is worth dealing with, which somehow I doubt. So now I've taken hover siege mode, which is basically the best thing in the world to deal with right now. They are completely ignoring me simply because they're killing our base and don't need to deal with me. But that's fine. Because I'm gonna kill their stuff mid, because I'm doing lots of damage to towers and stuff now. Isn't that fun? Still nobody here to stop me. Which, you know, is whatever. I can't. They made their choice and what they're going to do, and I'm going to do this. Boy, that does a lot of damage to turrets. I mean, so do I, but holy cow! Oh, yep, I saw that. Let's just there we go. Let's make the best of a bad situation here and get out. Throw spider bots in there. So I still can't really fight Sylvanas 1v1, and I'm not really going to choose to. I'm going to try and avoid it as much as physically possible. But at the very least, I should be a little bit more mobile than her now, with the ability to walk around in my siege mode. And I do spit damage. Fortunately, my team has decided to chase her. Someone has disconnected and rejoined. Praise be. No sign of the enemy team. They're going for the top relic. Which, well, I guess now all I can do is keep them from grabbing this. I will sit here, a silent guardian. Oh, see it against this guy, mostly. And die. Wow. Oh, that stun lasts forever. Okay. Didn't quite make it. This is where my team should kill them. Of course, she gets away. Eventual is disconnected again and gave up the kill. She escapes. Oh, nope, she didn't. God bless Malfurion. They somehow managed to go up there and contest it. That stun lasted for about 8 years. I'm sure there's something I did wrong there, but what am I supposed to say? I haven't really played Sylvanas, as she cost about an arm and a leg, somewhere around the mortgage on a new home or hotel, sort of, somewhat building. And I haven't seen her on the free-to-play rotation, so I'm not exactly sure how her stun works or how her kit works. All I know is that she had a fantastic hero trailer, and I'm all about that. What are you supposed to do? Here you see my team in mid lane, completely ignoring objectives around the map, but that's fine. They're pushing, and that's good enough. Here's Chen trying to, 2v1. That's fine. There you go. Oh, okay, there he goes. He did something. Looks like he's kind of doing damage. Something you could call damage, at least. They're winning the fight. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Fantastic. Sylvanas is dead, so... Oh, who's attacking the car? Hold on a second now. Let's put an end to this real quick. So, I didn't give anybody authorization to do that. So we own both the things, but it doesn't really matter. I'm walking past creeps because I'm too distracted by if my team is trying to die. Yep. So this one wants to capture a mercenary camp, and I'm all over that. I'm gonna stay in this slow mode because I kind of want to. I need to do all kinds of stuff. That's not do this. Let's look at talents now. So now we're getting into the late game. Let's there we go. So we want this Nexus Frenzy because that attack speed increase is basically do X amount more damage. So they're going to be pushing our mid down again, and they control both relics. Yep, that's marginally anticipated that they would get that, and it looks like they're going top which is the closest route to our last remaining feature that resembles a base, so it's not hard to necessarily blame them for it. Fortunately for me, my range is about nowhere near long enough. Oh, okay, he kicked me right back to the base. Good enough. Meanwhile, core's under attack. It's, everything I've ever wanted in life is happening right now. I feel such joy in this moment. Here is once again a bunch of champions I have no hope in 1v1ing. Okay, I was both polymorphed and shot away, ultimately resulting in saving my life, I'm fairly certain. But I must run now, as it's not a sustainable prospect. It's just... oh, that's down. Thank goodness that happened. I mean, thank goodness I was here, as always. Thank goodness for Euthus. Everybody should rejoice in my, let's stop this guy right there. Let's see if we can stop this hot mess, too. Well, I mean, I'm doing something. I'm sure I'm hurting him. So even while damaging her from across the map, I still feel at risk. I'm not sure if this is purely psychological or well-reasoned. All I know is that there is a stun that lasts about 8 years with my name on it, just waiting. Always try and go for the lower health target. It's the best you can do for your team. Always try not to die, as that's also something really nice you can do for your team. I'm no longer in siege mode. Chen is apologizing, but you know what? I feel he put his heart into this game, and that's ultimately what matters. If Sylvanas should die, if there's a god in this world, it seems there might just be some hope for all those Christians. May your God be with you. You might have made the right choice, because Sylvanas is dead. Here we can see my team dying, which really isn't that new, but it's hard enough that let's stop that. It's really screwed. Let's switch back. Let's do we realistically have any chance of winning? No, but can we make this win take as long for them as physically possible? Yes. And I'd say at this point, that's entirely what I'm looking for. Because in the end, is there any difference between winning happily and making your opponents win very angrily? I don't really think so. But, you know, what are you going to do when you're playing Sergeant Hammer, the large walking tank? I think you make your opponents lose as ungracefully as possible. That is what I'm going to do the rest of this game, and make them work for it. Admittedly, I feel like I'm slapping Sylvanas with some sort of wet noodle cannon. Unfortunately, I don't feel that they've created a wet noodle cannon, because to do so would probably be a breach of some sort of human rights violation. Or probably be along the veins of some sort of human rights violation. You can't really breach a human rights violation, because it itself is a violation. Here they have both shrines, once again, and the dragon is up. I assume they're going to be getting that in a moment here, and then pushing to end the game. But you know what? This is where it comes in that we're going to... Okay, I've now been teleported. He's been teleported for that. Let's just... okay, well, yeah, I'm home now. He's coming right over here just to mess with me. Distract me from this guy. So, that didn't work. Good. Okay, it's over. We finally lost for realsies. But, you know, I suppose that's just going to happen every now and then when you sort of get entirely outplayed. Well, not so much outplayed as entirely out-rotated. Unfortunately, at the start of this lane, I was stuck with not Brightwing against Brightwing, and a champion that actually does damage, unlike the champion I'm playing. But what are you going to do when something like that happens? Ultimately, you're just going to lose. This was Eelthus talking to you about Sergeant Hammer on the not Rock Column map, but the Dragon Knight map. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk and accept some of my reasoning behind the talent choices I did. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.